Ed Morrissey, host of the Ed Morrissey Show, joins us via Skype from Minneapolis. Ed, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Lauren. Great to be here.
You've been talking to lay Catholics. Tell me what the predominant reaction is.
I think that there's a surprise that this change has taken place. Maybe not as the fact that the Catholic Church opposes the death penalty. I think people already understand that, especially here in the U.S., where the bishops have been very outspoken about this. But I think the fact that they're changing the catechism to completely preclude any support whatsoever for the death penalty is going to have some Catholics here in the United States feeling a little bit lost, I believe.
What you said in a piece you wrote this morning for Hot Air was that these Catholics will find themselves having been separated from the church without having moved at all a position of injustice. Why do you say that?
I've talked with Catholics who have been very thoughtful about their support of the death penalty. I don't share that support. I actually follow I believe in what the bishops have been teaching about the seamless garment of life. I've stuck to that for a number of years, but I do respect the fact that people are going to Scripture and finding scriptural support for the position of supporting the death penalty, and the teaching of the Catholic Church up until this moment in time allowed them to have that sort of prudential judgment on this policy. And now that prudential judgment, or at least the room for that prudential judgment, has been taken away, even though it had been extremely narrowed over the last 50, 60 years anyway. I think that what's going to be called into question here is, how do you implement this without making people feel as though they've just suddenly become transformed into sinners, while they've been very thoughtful and faithful Catholics all along?
That leads to my next question. What do bishops need to say to their flock about this? Does it need clarification?
I think what needs to be clarified is where people stand in relation to the church if they support the death penalty. I mean, there's certainly a number of points in the catechism that people sometimes will have some struggles with, that they don't fully align with, and that they understand that this is where the Catholic Church is at, and I have to somehow find myself in a position where I can at least be in some sort of concert with that. The bishops are going to have to give us a pathway for that, or give these people a pathway for that, so that they don't feel like they've been let go.
Before we let you go, Greg Burke, Vatican spokesman, said, "It is a message to all Catholics. Let's go back to what it means to respect life at all time and in all cases." Do you think people will be swayed by that argument?
I think that the argument that Bishop Ladaria made, Cardinal Ladaria made, is going to be the right path. It's to argue that, look, we've been narrowing this down to the point where, for all practical purposes, the Catholic Church has already been opposed to the death penalty for many, many years. And all we're saying is that we need to recognize the reality that we can do other things besides execute people in order to protect the innocent. And I think that argument, it's going to take a while, but I think that argument will eventually win out.
Ed Morrissey, host of Hot Air's The Ed Morrissey Show, airing most Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 5:30 Eastern. Ed, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Lauren.